We hear a lot about addictions to alcohol, drugs, or even behaviors like gambling. But food addictions, unlike normal eating, food addiction involves intense cravings tied to specific trigger foods, emotional eating to cope with stress, and sometimes secretive habits. Here to share more is Dr. Gregg Jantz. Welcome back.
Oh, good to be with you. It's a tender topic.
For sure.
Because a lot of times it involves secrecy, and we don't want anybody to know we do this.
So true. And I feel like this is something that some of us throw around, like I'm addicted to sweets, but it's more than that with food addiction.
We're talking about something that's really powerful. I'll use the word compulsive. There is a very strong drive to eat something, and usually in secrecy, and then you start this cycle. And you go, I'm not going to do that again.
Right.
I binged, oh boy. And then 3 days pass and I'm doing the same thing again. So there's a lot of guilt and shame associated with this. And I've been treating food addictions and eating disorders for over 40 years.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of pain with this. So I just want to acknowledge that.
Definitely. And is there similarities with substance addiction to what we're talking about?
Well, there is. Sometimes a person may say, I struggled with alcohol. I'm not doing that anymore, but boy, am I going crazy with food. So sometimes we'll dance between addictions.
That makes
sense. It's like we not doing one for a while and then we switch to something else.
Yeah, and we use food, some people can, as an emotional crutch, right? If you can speak on that.
Oh, Kelly, that's a good one because, so I had a great day, I come home, I deserve this.
I deserve a treat.
Right?
I do that, yes.
Yeah, and it's my reward.
Right.
Or I had a tough day. You don't understand how bad this day was. And then I go home and food is my comfort. I self-medicate with food.
Yeah.
So I end up using it for both a reward and to make me feel better.
For sure.
Something chemically is going on. There's a chemical called dopamine.
Okay.
And it's that feel-good chemical. And so our highly refined foods and our sugars, those that we're more prone to, binge on,
right?
We're going to trigger more of that chemical, and so initially we feel better. Go, oh, good, I feel better.
And then the guilt and all that can come.
The shame, and then there is a crash.
Okay.
And that's why I say it's a compulsive cycle.
And so when does it really cross that line, would you say, when you're eating in secret and you're noticing those things?
Well, an example is a gal who I recently worked with, and she shares her story and I can share it. So she said, you know what, I had food hidden at my workplace. I had it hidden at home. I would put food, candy bars in drawers, behind books. And she realized, oh no, that awareness, I really have a problem here if I'm being so secret.
Yes.
And I always have to make sure I have my certain food that I'm going to self-medicate with.
And you don't think this is a lack of willpower then, right? Or
I think we tell ourselves that. I think we say, okay, if I just had enough willpower, I can do this. And you really try to do it. You really do. And you're to be acknowledged. But then day 3 hits. I always say it's always the third day. And it's like it hits us. And we'll play a little mind games. We'll say, I'm just going to have a little bit.
Yeah. Or tomorrow I'm going to change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I had a rough weekend, but hey, Monday, I'm good.
Start of a new week. Yes.
But we're looking for patterns. So it's crossed the line when there's a lot of secrecy. And I'm going to use the word isolation. I go away from people instead of towards people. So I isolate. And then if I feel that guilt and shame, that's a sign, I'm crossing a line.
So that's what we should maybe look for in loved ones then too. Are there any other tips that we should be looking for?
Well, I think one of the things we should be looking for is there's something going on inside. It's both chemical and emotional. Okay, so it's not just say, I'll stop. No, really, what's the root cause here? And why do I keep going back to this? Like any addiction.
Right. And does this happen with children too, or are there ways that we should or shouldn't handle it there?
Oh, kids are tricky. We love our kids, and you start to see maybe one of your kids and they're going, oh, they're just like eating, and you start to get concerned. And kids can learn early on, food feels good. We learn a lot to celebrate with food.
True.
So,
Yeah.
yes, it can start with kids, and we're seeing more and more, well, probably 13 to 16-year-olds who they've really got a pattern going with food already.
Right.
And then for kids, there's the body image and the self-image.
So much with social media.
Oh, social media.
Oh.
There's a whole new topic.
I know. What does recovery look like?
Recovery looks like I'm going to keep going. It's progress, not perfection. Okay? So I know I'm going forward. I probably will have some slips. But recovery looks like, okay, I know how I got into that. I was letting some anger build up, or I got really anxious, so I turned to food because I was anxious. So you begin to identify what's behind it, and you address those issues. So that's recovery.
Amazing. Thank you so much, as always, for being here and sharing all this information. We really appreciate it.
It's important, and we can recover.